Hi guys, today we're talking about the horrible murder of Shanda Scherer. In the early morning hours of January 11th, 1992, 12-year-old Shanda was abducted from her home in Madison, Indiana, and tortured to death by 4 teenage girls. Melinda Lovelace, Mary Tackett, who went by Lori, Hope Rippey, and Toni Lawrence. All 4 girls had somewhat of a rocky home life growing up, with allegations of molestation and physical abuse from family members. In junior high, Melinda began dating a girl named Amanda Heverin. However, their relationship was very toxic and they ended up breaking up. Fast forward to October of 1991, and this is when Amanda meets Shanda. Their friendship soon grows into a romantic relationship, which angers Melinda, who then begins to discuss killing Shanda with Lori, Hope, and Toni. So Melinda put together a plan to have her 3 friends knock on Shanda's door a little after midnight on January 11th while she hid in the back of Lori's car under a blanket with a knife. The girls would tell Shanda, whom they had never actually met, that they were friends with Amanda and wanted to hang out. But when Shanda got into the car, Melinda jumped out from the back seat and held the knife to her throat. They drove Shanda deep into the forest to an abandoned house where they stripped her naked, tied her up, and brutally beat her for 7 hours. Melinda then tried to slash her throat, but the knife was too dull, so she strangled her with a rope until she was unconscious. All 4 girls threw Shanda into the trunk and went back to Lori's house to clean up and drink soda. At some point, Shanda awoke and started screaming, so Lori proceeded to stab her in the chest multiple times. The girls then got back into the car and drove around for a couple of hours. During the drive, Shanda, who was still alive, started crying, and when Melinda opened the trunk, she sat up, covered in blood, with her eyes rolled back in her head. Melinda then beat Shanda with a tire iron until she went unconscious. They continued driving until they reached a burn pile. They then wrapped Shanda in a blanket, sprayed her with Windex, doused her in gasoline, and set her on fire. But despite all of this, Shanda managed to survive, that is until the girls came back, saw she was still alive, and set her on fire again. They then left to go eat breakfast while Shanda burned to death. Melinda joked about Shanda's burned body resembling a breakfast sausage she was eating and bragged to many people about the murder. But the next day, when Shanda's body was found by 2 hunters, Toni and Hope broke down and confessed to the police. All 4 girls were charged with Shanda's murder. Toni was sentenced to 20 years, Hope was sentenced to 35 years, and Lori and Melinda were sentenced to 60 years in prison. But despite the horrible nature of the murder and their lack of remorse, since 2019, all 4 girls have since been released from prison and are now walking free.